Now, I don't know about you, but I kind of discern that many people today live with a feeling of dread, really. Sometimes it's just that low-level kind of dread, but sometimes it can come a little bit further to the surface. Every time we turn on the news, or we read our newspapers, or we scroll through social media, we hear of wars and conflicts in places like Ukraine and Palestine. This week, that's incurred into Poland and Romania. We hear of reports of famine in different parts of the world. We have a cost of living crisis in this country. Prices of food and energy seem to be going up, and they show no signs of stopping. The government, the establishment, the system seems to treat people, especially the vulnerable amongst us, in what seems like more and more inhuman ways. A sense that people feel disenfranchised by the political system, genuinely believing that, in a sense, it doesn't matter which way they vote, nothing really changes. People feel as if they're no longer in charge of their own destinies. And that's before we start to think about things like climate control, climate crisis, tariffs, espionage, and so much more that leaves us with that sense of dread in our lives. Life can feel futile, almost like walking uphill knee-deep in mud. So what's the answer to all of this? What's the answer if we feel this sense of dread with what the world is like these days? I believe it is to make a hope choice. It is to make the choice that I believe that God exists, that I matter to him, and that he has the power to help me change whatever the circumstances I faced. In those few words that I read that Jesus said in his first sermon, I read this sentence: God blesses those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Now, when you hear these words, it's like, I don't want to mourn. But you begin to notice that Jesus' path to hope and comfort is perhaps different to the one that we would naturally take. Jesus says that the things that we try to avoid in life are often God's path to real comfort and hope. If I'm absolutely honest with you, I don't want to mourn all the wars and conflict that there is going on in the world. I don't want to mourn the famine that there is in this world, especially when I take into account how much food I have and have access to. I don't want to mourn the cost of living crisis in this country and face up to the fact that there may be some neighbours around me who are struggling to make ends meet. I don't want to mourn some of the inhumane policies that our government seem to come up with to deal with some of the problems and the most vulnerable people in our country, like asylum seekers, rough sleepers, and so on. I don't want to mourn the fact that people feel so disenfranchised by the political system that they seem to be turning to more and more extreme parties to see if they can make a difference. I don't want to mourn the problems of climate change or the rise of AI or all the other sorts of problems that I don't seem to be able to shake off. Now, if you feel like that, what do we do instead? We very often look for escapism. Some of us escape into shopping, a bit of retail therapy. I'll just go out and buy something, whether I need it or not, and that will make me feel a bit better. Some of us escape into entertainment. If I'm feeling bad about life, well, then I can go to cinema and lose myself in a film and not have to think about what's happening in the world. Or I can binge watch a new TV series and not have to think about what's going on. Some people escape into alcohol. If they've had a bad day or the news depresses them, then they can reach for a drink and feel better. Some escape into gambling. When life feels too uncomfortable or our money feels stretched, we play the national lottery or pop into the bookies or book a trip to Vegas and hope that somehow we can get some more money back from that and feel a little bit more comfortable. Or we can escape into food or work or all sorts of ways that we try to escape from our feelings of hopelessness and helplessness. The problem is, of course, that all these ways that we try to escape the world only give us momentary comfort and hope. And Jesus comes along and instead he turns happiness and hope upside down. He says that the deepest happiness and blessings in life come from choosing to mourn the bad things that happen in life and the world. It's choosing to accept that these things happen because we live in a broken world and to realize that the world doesn't hold the hope that I really need in life. And then he says it's to choose to look to God instead for the comfort I need. So how do we find this path to comfort and hope? It's by recognizing who God really is. He is a God of compassion. He's compassionate about your hurts and your pain. He says, I can help you through this if you'll let me. He's full of mercy and comfort. God loves you. He comforts you and he gives you hope. And then the next choice to make is recognizing that God has the power to change the world, and it starts with me. This is not about us changing for God. It's about God changing you and me through his power. If each one of us opens up to God and allows him to apply his peace to our hearts and our souls and molds us into peacemakers, then there will be less conflict in the world. If we open up to God and we see how generous he is to us and we allow him to grow a heart of generosity in us, then there will be less famine in the world. If we allow God to open up our hearts and our minds to the simple life that his son Jesus Christ led when he was on earth, then perhaps the cost of living crisis would begin to have less of an impact on us. If we allow God to make our hearts burn with some of the injustices that are meted out in our world, then we might be the ones to protest some of the inhumanity that goes on in our world and reach out to those who are vulnerable and scared. If God grows hearts in us that mourn the powerlessness that so many people feel in the world today, then perhaps we would become the people who are passionate about making a positive difference in our community. That's the sort of choices that bring real hope. So if you feel hopeless today, if you feel hopeless about the world, or if you feel hopeless about your own life, then allow God to give you the comfort and the hope that you need, and the power to change your life and the lives of those around you. God bless you.
Thank you so much for watching Battle Ready Sermons. If this message encouraged you, please like, subscribe and share it with others who need hope and strength today. And be sure to check out battlereadysermons.com for more sermons and faith resources. Until next time, stay strong and stay battle ready.